Hey, my name's Shanshan. I sell art on shanshan.co. Today we're going to review Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So it's a film by Christopher McQuarrie. Time is 2 hours and 43 minutes. A little long. I think you could have shortened this maybe to 2 hours 15. Actors are Tom Cruise plays Ethan Hunt, Hayley Atwell plays Grace, Ving Rhames plays Luther, Simon Pegg plays Benji, Rebecca Ferguson plays Ilsa, Vanessa Kirby plays the White Widow, Esai Morales plays Gabriel. So the story, this Russian sub gets sunk. The computer kind of turns on itself. It turns out an AI virus had infected the computer, and the virus decides to go self-aware and protects itself by shooting down the sub and being buried at the bottom of the ocean. The keys to its software rise to the surface and disappear into the black market. IMF is called to recover these keys and find out where these keys go to. So a little bit of funny on this story is it's ironic. Right now the writers are on strike in Hollywood, complaining about AI chat taking over Hollywood writing, so that's kind of funny. I think AI will probably hit a lot of... You could probably use it as basically a script writer or script reader, like what I had been trained to do. You're still going to have a human to oversee it, but it's going to kind of weed out the weak apples, so to say, really quick. So, you know, screen readers might be in for a little bit of trouble. Writers as well that are sloppy writers, because AI will be able to write at least decent scripts. So a lot of the weaker writers are going to be weeded out automatically by AI. Probably the wages are going to drop, obviously, because if you have a tool like AI, why pay? You can hire AI for $25 a month versus thousands of dollars for a writer. Probably you're going to lean on AI and just have the polished writers finish it up. So probably there's going to be some re-ranking there. So Tom, you have to save the writers. I don't know why this is stretched into 2 movies. There's a part 1 and part 2. I think in Dune, maybe it made sense because they did Dune before in 1989, I think around there in the 80s. And it seemed like a very fast-paced clip. And so when they stretched Dune into part 1 and part 2, I think that made more sense because it's a huge, huge book. This movie is just based on a script. So I don't know why there's 2 movies, because it's going to be the same villains in part 1, part 2, all the sub-characters in part 1, part 2. So there's not going to be any change-up between the 2 movies, which another movie that might be justified was Kill Bill 1 and 2. You had villains that were different in part 1 and part 2, so that made it exciting to see both parts, I think, and not really cut that down. But I don't really see why there's a part 2. I just wanted to finish up the film. When you get to the end, you're like, oh my god, now we have to go to the submarine too. Like, what are they going to have between the train scene and the submarine? That's going to be another whole movie. It's like, just seems ridiculous. I think you could have trimmed this particular film, especially in part 1, part 2, probably 2 hours 15, maybe even 2 hours. It didn't feel long, but why does a movie need to be 2 hours and 43 minutes? It just seems really excessive, especially for action film. Action films, why do you need this much time? Don't drink anything going to this film. It's 2 hours and 43 minutes. If you drink anything, you're going to piss your pants, or you're going to have to leave in the middle of the film and miss something, so that's really stupid. I just ate candy, so I was fine, but my voice was a little thirsty at the end. But yeah, just eat something. Do not drink anything going to this film because of the length. It's a fun Mission Impossible story. Great stunts as always. Nothing out of the extraordinary. I didn't feel like they pushed the needle more than they have in other Mission Impossible. So kind of like they've maxed out the ceiling, I guess. So it doesn't feel super unique. It's a little weak on stunts, I would say. Although obviously super over the top compared to most actors would be willing to do. Some of the characters feel a little bit stale. They keep like Xing off the women love life of Ethan Hunt and then bring in a new love life or something, but they don't really change out the other characters, which they did in the first one, which made the first Mission Impossible so damn good, is they switched out some of the main characters. You're like, oh my god. So that would be kind of cool if they mixed in more characters, because some of those characters feel a little stale, similar to like Fast and the Furious went too long, I think. The irony is, like, when you see this film, they have Nicole Kidman as the AMC spokesperson, and you have a Nicole Kidman before a Tom Cruise film. So I don't know who gets the last laugh, Nicole or Tom, but I think Nicole's probably laughing every time she gets to show this in front of a Mission Impossible film. It's fun to see Keatrich again in the film, because he was a little bit kind of a semi-villain before in other films, and this one he's kind of re-rolling that film. You know, another real Mission Impossible probably will cost me everything in Hollywood will be for Tom Cruise to save Shelley McCavish. That would be a real Mission Impossible. Take in your movie crew, go in there, save her. I mean, what do they have on you, Tom, to make you not save this person versus just stick up for David Miscavige, who obviously isn't a good person? Obviously, Tom Cruise got a huge benefit from Scientology, but it's obviously not a benefit now because he will refuse to talk about it. It's so bad, the connection. So you're like, why do you stay in the group? You can be a Scientology outside of Scientology. So not sure what's going on there. I guess Tom Cruise likes to have his semi-slave Scientology helpers that work for nothing. But, you know, it's obviously once you get into a cult, it's hard to get out of. But, I mean, he's powerful. He has mega millions. I mean, what really do they have on him? He had a couple affairs or something, weird kinks. Who cares, really? All Hollywood stars have weird kinks. Isn't it worth saving some person and going down as a hero long term that you save this person that was an ex-wife of this crazy leader of Scientology? I think that would be more honorable than just pretending it doesn't exist, especially when she was supposed to go to one of your weddings and disappeared. And I'm like, come on, man. It's like, if the guy wants to move on and have a second girlfriend, who cares, a mistress? But let his ex-wife leave Scientology. Why are you working with a guy that's a horrible person? Anyway, that's my take of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next movie review. Thanks for watching, guys.